adopted. From last year's 1% penetration to 6% penetration now, almost hitting a million plus run rate in terms of EV sales. I think India is truly taken to EVs in general. And us specifically, I think we have been the leaders and the sort of torchbearers of this industry. In the last 3-4 months, as you can see, we've been number one, and for the foreseeable future, we're extremely confident that we will be number one. Our market share has surpassed 30% this month, selling over 25,000 EVs for the first time in December, which is unheard of. So I think it's been great for us. And the reason why it has been great for us is, of course, something which I would like to talk a little bit about is number one is a great quality product that we have. Number two is very consumer-centric sales and marketing initiatives that we did. And number three was a very strong community we have, which no other brand in India has, which has led to this sort of growth and adoption from consumers.
Currently, you are operating at about having plans for for more vehicles by 2026. I'd also like to ask you about the 2022 year, in which a significant trend was noticed, and I was, while doing my research, saw that in November about 77,000 odd units sold, 76,000 in November, and there was a little bit of a downtick for in December as far as the e-two-wheelers vehicles go. This is as per the Vahan data. So, any particular reason towards that?
No, I think December is generally a very soft month for two-wheelers because the year changes, etc. It's the end of the year. If you look at the overall two-wheeler industry, it has degrown by some 35-40% this month. But EVs specifically haven't degrown as much. In fact, the penetration of EVs increased from November, and it is now 6% in December. I think it was something last month. So while there is been dip in EVs, but much lesser as compared to the overall industry, which is just a seasonal or a cyclical trend. But in January, we are very confident it will pick up again in terms of absolutes as well. But if you look at December, we specifically, both in terms of absolutes and market share, have grown. So I think if the product is great, irrespective of the cyclicity or seasonality, it should grow. And I think January will be a much better month for the industry overall.
Co-powered by Samsonite. Tested like Samsonite. Polycab Green Wires. Citroen C3 Express Your Style.
A very good evening. You're watching 7 at 7 live. I'm Nabila Jamal. Let me take you through the top stories of the day. The headlines first. New CCTV video shows a PCR on the same route as the Baleno moments after the Baleno passed through the route with the victim under it. No checks conducted for drink and driving. Anjali's family counters allegations made by her friend who said that she was drunk. Autopsy reveals the 20-year-old died due to dragging. Cops recreate the crime scene. Another shocker from Delhi. Man drags a 19-year-old woman forcefully inside a car in Pandav Nagar, threatens acid attack as the teen resists. Sonia Gandhi admitted to Delhi Sir Gangaram Hospital for a viral respiratory infection. UPA chairperson was last seen at the Congress Foundation Day event. Rishabh Pant he was airlifted to Mumbai's Leelavati Hospital for treatment for his ligament injury. BCCI doctors to monitor his treatment, ensuring the best of treatment for the star Indian wicket-keeper and batsman. A drunk flyer in a New York Delhi Air India flight urinates on a female passenger in a business class seat. Female passenger complains of insensitivity by the cabin crew. Pothole claims another life in Chennai. 22-year-old techie topples due to pothole, gets run over by a truck. In yet another shocking incident of high-handedness by a passenger on flight. A flight coming from New York to Delhi, a woman complains that her co-passenger, a man sitting right beside her, exposed himself to her and urinated on her. And when the lady alerted the cabin crew, at max, they gave her another pair of pajamas and let the man go. Complaint has been raised. Air India has acknowledged this incident. Let me take you through the details.
It's total luxury in the sky. You've just spent over 3 lakh rupees. You flew business class on this Air India flight to New York. And now you're on your way back home to Delhi. After you finish your finely crafted business class meal, you hunker down for some rest before arrival. The cabin lights are dimmed. The gentle hum of the aircraft lulls you into what you hope will be some sleep. Except you heard the sound of water splashing down on you in the dark. And in a moment of horror, you realize it isn't water because there's a dark figure looming over you, urinating in your lap. Close your eyes for a moment. We wish we were making this up, but we are not. This really happened on November 26 last year to a lady senior citizen on an Air India flight from New York to Delhi, who shot off an anguished letter to N. Chandrashekaharan, chairman of the Tata group that now owns Air India. The lady passenger says she had just finished lunch and the lights were switched off at the cabin. One of the other business class passengers, totally drunk, walked up to her, unzipped and began urinating all over her. After he finished, he simply walked back and sat in his seat. According to the complaint, the crew didn't respond appropriately, and only after the traumatized passenger went to them did they attempt to cleanse the seat and offer her a crew seat for the remainder of the flight. Worst of all, the drunk offender was allowed to simply leave after the flight landed. It was over a month later that Air India complained to the Delhi police on December 28, forcing an FIR to be registered. Whether or not the urinating passenger faces a blacklist from flying, and worse, remains to be seen. But the incident is the latest in a slew of incidents involving obnoxious Indian air travelers, from fighting like rowdies to yelling and abusing cabin crew. It's clearly the season of the loathsome Indian passenger. Bureau Report, India Today.
All right, let me quickly cut across to Paulami Saha, who's tracking this news for us. Paulami, what a shame. You have a male passenger exposing himself, urinating on a co-passenger, and the Air India crew decides to let him go. He deboards the plane and then walks away happily. Now, we believe the demand is to put him on a no-fly list, basically blacklist him completely. Tell us what action has Air India taken?
Well, Nabila, to answer the first part of your question, absolutely huge lapse on part of the airline to have even allowed this passenger, this male passenger, to have walked out scot-free. They should have been lodging that FIR immediately with the Delhi police and ensured that he faces the wrath of the law. That did not happen. It only happened after the lady passenger in question wrote directly to the chairman of Tata Group, N. Chandrashekaharan, and he took cognizance of it. And that's when Air India, a month later, sprung into action. For the moment, what Air India is telling us is that they have banned the said male passenger from flying with them for 30 days, as is what they're allowed to do to a maximum unilaterally. They've also reported the matter to the DGCA, so the DGCA will investigate this further in terms of whether he should be banned or put in a no-fly list as far as all airlines are concerned, and for what specific period of time. Meanwhile, also, they have set up, Air India has set up an internal committee which is looking into the lapses that the crew made and whether any action should be taken, because the lady passenger has complained that she in fact wanted the crew to behave much more sensitively. They did not. They just put her on a crew seat, which is a very uncomfortable seat. This is the lady passenger who's paid for a business class seat. You put her on that crew seat, you just give her a change of pajamas and slippers, you clean up the seat, and you just ask her to go back. And she actually complained that that entire area was reeking of urine, and you put me through this sort of ordeal. This is an elderly female passenger we're talking about. She was in her 70s, she's in her 70s, and this is what she in fact had to face. So several questions as to why Air India did not act immediately. Why did not they take better care of this female passenger who clearly was very, very traumatized after this incident, as would any of us.
Absolutely, and this should be a deterrent, considering this can't be let go so easy. The man urinated another passenger, male or female. This kind of behavior must be dealt with. Let's hope the airline takes this seriously. Thank you, Palmi, for joining us. I'm going to now shift our focus to Anjali's death, the Delhi road horror that's shaken the country. In fact, now several new pieces of information surfacing as you have family members of Anjali claiming this to be a pre-planned murder. And they claim that Anjali was not drunk on that fateful night, while you have contrary claims coming out from the friend of Anjali, Nidhi, the same girl who actually left Anjali to die on the road and fled from the accident spot. Nidhi claims Anjali was drunk. So these claims, counter-claims, leading to a big confusion. The police might have a new line of investigation henceforth. Let's take you through.
Gruesome murder, claims and counterclaims, and several contradictions in versions. Anjali's death is getting murkier day by day. The victim's family and her friend Nidhi, who fled the accident scene, have made several claims. Nidhi, in an interview to India Today, said her friend was in an inebriated state when they were hit by the car early Sunday. Anjali's family has countered this claim. They say no alcohol was found in her abdomen, according to the post-mortem report.
उसने बहुत ज़्यादा ड्रिंक कर रखी थी, बहुत ज़्यादा ड्रिंक कर रखी थी कि वो ना मतलब होश में नहीं थी अपने।
पोस्टमार्टम रिपोर्ट में एब्डोमेन में किसी भी तरीके का अल्कोहल पदार्थ नहीं पाया गया है।
Nidhi further claimed that Anjali almost smashed into a truck before the deadly accident, while Anjali's family is calling the death a planned murder.
अंजलि के साथ जो हुआ है, that is not a simple murder. It is a sadism murder in which उसको धीरे-धीरे पेन देके मारा गया है, पोस्टमार्टम रिपोर्ट के हिसाब से।
Facing questions on her own conduct after the incident, Nidhi said she fled the accident spot because she was scared. Anjali's family, on the other hand, alleged Nidhi wasn't with the victim during the incident. They say Nidhi's version of events don't match the CCTV recordings of what happened that night.
मैं बिल्कुल अपनी सुद्धि में नहीं थी, मैं अपने होश में ही नहीं थी कि मैं जाकर पुलिस को बताऊं। मैं सोची कहीं वो बात मेरे पे ना आ जाए। एक होता है ना कि मेरे को लगा कि क्या करूं मैं, मेरे को जो ये ठीक लगा कि मैं अपने घर पे जाऊं, अपने घर पे बैठ के शांति से सोचूं क्या करना है क्या नहीं। कुछ नहीं समझ में आया तो 2 दिन बाद पुलिस ने पूछा तो मैंने पूछताछ में सब बता दिया।
1:35 पे निधि अपने घर पे पहुंच चुकी है। 2 बजे जो सीसीटीवी फुटेज आता है उसमें अंजलि अकेले गाड़ी ड्राइव कर रही है। तो मैं आपको फिर बताना चाहता हूं, अगर रात को 1:30 बजे मैंने अपने दोस्त को उसके घर छोड़ दिया तो ये क्या मामला है कि 1.5 घंटे के बाद या 1 घंटे के बाद वो मौके वारदात पे ये कहता है कि मैं भी उस स्कूटी में बैठी थी और जब ये सब वाकया हुआ तो मैं वहां से भाग गई।
India Today has accessed the CCTV footage of Nidhi rushing to her home from the crime spot after the accident. The claims have raised many questions. Is Anjali's friend Nidhi speaking the truth? Nidhi claims she reached her home after the accident. The time stamp on CCTV shows her walking home an hour earlier. What happened in the Oyo hotel room where Anjali and Nidhi were seen on New Year's Eve? Which event management company did Anjali work for? Where are the boys who were with Anjali and friend in the hotel? The police are yet to crack the exact sequence of events. Days after the horrific incident, the question remains, will Anjali get justice? With Shreya Chatterjee, Himanshu Mishra and Arvind Oja in Delhi, Bureau Report, India Today.
All right, now Anjali's family have received the autopsy report. It's with us as well. India Today has accessed the report, and that shows clearly the kind of internal as well as external injuries that Anjali has incurred. She was inflicted upon. In fact, she was dragged for 12 kilometers across Delhi streets. To such an extent, the injuries are that the blood from her body is entirely drained out. Some part of the brain is missing. And further, the autopsy also reveals the kind of injuries that has happened all through her back. Her entire skin at the back of her body has peeled off. She was stuck between the front and the rear wheel of that Bolero. A lot more detail in this report here as the police also try to recreate the entire crime scene. Have a look.
Days after 20-year-old Anjali was dragged to death on the streets of Delhi by a car, more horrific details have emerged. The autopsy report reveals that Anjali's ribs were exposed from her back as skin peeled away from being dragged for nearly 12 kilometers. Her lungs had popped out from her body. The report further stated that Anjali had sustained several external injuries and her brain matter was missing.
पोस्टमार्टम रिपोर्ट के हिसाब से अंजलि का जो ब्रेन है वो अभी भी मिसिंग है। जो उसका भेजा था, जिसको हम ब्रेन कहते हैं, वो 5 से 6 किलोमीटर की बर्बरता के बाद कहीं कंजावाला रोड पे गिर गया और ब्रेन जो है वो मिसिंग है।
The post-mortem lists shock and hemorrhage as the cause of her death. The report rules out sexual assault and presence of any alcohol in her body. Initial examination of the suspect's car suggests that Anjali was stuck to the front left wheel of the vehicle. According to the forensic report, most blood stains were found behind the front left wheel. Blood was found on other parts under the car as well.
उनका सिर अंदर गया और इधर आगे यहाँ तक सिर आ गया और इस आर्म इसके अंदर उनका पाँव फंस गया, पैर ऐसे ऊपर चला गया। ये एक्सल चल रहा है, ये वाला, और ये एक्सल के ऊपर लिपट गया और ये गाड़ी चलती रही, उसके कपड़े यहाँ से उसके साथ लिपटते रहे।
To understand what transpired that fateful night, forensic team recreated the crime scene with Delhi top cop sliding under the car.
Right now here you see the Delhi police, obviously after receiving so much flack, they can be seen ensuring that all the loose ends of the investigation is made into a watertight inspection, because all the more, remember, the family members, even after the post-mortem report is out, is refusing to accept the theory of the police.
Meanwhile, India Today has accessed CCTV footage of Anjali's friend Nidhi reaching home after fleeing from the site of the accident.
करेक्ट 2:30 बज रहे थे, हम बाहर ही बैठे थे ना, हमारे चला के फोन हाथ में था, हमने टाइम देखा जब वो आई थी। हाथ चोट उसके यहाँ पर लगी थी और हाथ पर जो फ्रैक्चर से जाता है ना, मुड़ पड़ा जाता है, वैसे हो गया था, और पैर पर बस। उन्हें आसपास मोहल्ले पड़ोस में बोला था बस इतना ही कि मेरा एक्सीडेंट हो गया स्कूटी से, और कुछ नहीं बोला।
Anjali's family members have now alleged that she was murdered. They have demanded the strictest punishment for all the 5 accused who are now in police custody. Bureau Report, India Today.
Now, even as the national capital grapples with the brutal murder of 20-year-old Anjali, here's another incident of crime that's come to light, a gruesome attack in Delhi's Pandav Nagar. A 19-year-old girl was assaulted by a stalker who attempted to drag her into his vehicle. While that young girl resisted this assault attempt, she sustained injuries in the aftermath. In fact, they also threatened that girl to attack her with acid. In this CCTV footage that's been accessed by India Today, the men enter into an altercation with the girl's brother, and the victim resisted the stalker's attempts, and that's when they dragged her inside the car, threatened her with an acid attack. Case has now been registered against the accused and probe is now underway.
What is the sequence of events of that day? So on 31st December around 3 p.m. In the afternoon, I and my brother, so we just had gone to the market to take some stuff. Then what happened that this boy Yadvendra, he came and he blocked our vehicle from the front. So while he blocked the vehicle, I and my brother, we accused him that what is the matter and what is the actual matter. Then I and my brother, we opposed him, and then we had a little bit of fight with him. And afterwards, my brother and I, we had just gone out to just take everything out. And then he just came, Yadvendra came, and then he grabbed me from my chest, and he even scratched, like he teared my top. Then later on, he said that he'll attack me with acid. And the moment I heard this, I was shocked. He even had put his hand over under his pocket to take out a bottle, and it was a glass bottle, and I have no clue that what exactly it was, but he said that it was acid, and he named it that it was acid. So later on, I ran from there. I called my parents. I am a single child, and I don't have my father right now. So I called my Tauji. He came there, and the moment he came there, he had an argument with him, and he saved me from there. He saw my top and he said me to go home. So this incident has been taken place on 31st December, but before that also we even had a lot of encounters where he came to my house and he has abused me and my mother over several times.
All right, shifting our focus to Tamil Nadu, you have BJP chief Annamalai entering into a verbal duel, almost a spat with the local media personnel there. This video here very clearly establishing the kind of fight between the two sides rather. Local journalists in Tamil Nadu and Annamalai got into an absolute quarrel after a few journalists asked him some pointed questions. Annamalai responded quite with a personal attack. That's what the journalists claim. In fact, Annamalai was facing a barrage of questions by those local journalists on a bunch of issues. He lost his cool, hit out at a reporter, insinuating that those journalists were agents of the DMK. Annamalai asked a reporter to work hard and justify his salary. Now, journalists didn't take that comment well, of course. Both sides began to take personal jibes at one another. In fact, Annamalai, as we know, is not really new to such a controversy. He's faced severe criticism even in the past. Back in October, Annamalai was again called out by the journalists for the comment he made. Annamalai had said journalists who are surrounding him, he basically called them monkeys jumping on a tree. And here too, today's incident as well, where journalists were asking him some pointed questions, and Annamalai said, I'm sure you've got a call from your bosses. Why don't you pull out your phone and show it to me? The journalist refused, and that's where this went into a heated argument. Listen in.
DMK sitting ministers explain இருக்குங்க வந்துச்சு எல்லா யூடியூப் சேனல்லயும் வந்துச்சு இதெல்லாம் பேசணும் இது நான் சொல்றது கேளுங்க நான் ஹிஸ்டரியில இருக்கு அந்த வீடியோ உங்களுக்கு வெளியிட முடியுமா நாங்க போறோம் நான் தான் பஸ்ல சொல்றேன் அது எல்லாம் நீங்க பாருங்க இது ஒரு பிரச்சனை செய்வானே பத்திரிகை வேலையும் தமிழ்நாடு கேபிள்ல உங்க நிறுவனம் கடைசிக்கு போயிருக்கு யூடியூப் சேனல்
All right, let me quickly cut across to Pramod Madhav, India Today's correspondent, tracking those developments. And Pramod, you were present there. We see this spat between the journalists there and Annamalai, and this is not the first time this has happened. Why don't you take us through today's incident? What really led to this boiling point?
Well, today's press meet with BJP's Annamalai was expected to be a little bit off the side because it was about Gayatri Raghuram, who recently decided to quit the party, and she has spoken about honey trapping, war rooms trawling, and everything. But we didn't expect this much hangama over there because it completely turned into a personal attack jibe. And what happened is that it all started with Annamalai trying to say that nobody will play his press conference for more than 7 minutes because it's a kind of an indirect order from the state-owned DIPR machine. And this is when the journalist started asking questions that you are constantly raising allegations, but do you have proof? That turned into a very big issue because Annamalai said yes, and then he said, like, do your job, you are being paid for it, why don't you get the evidence yourself? And that turned into various issues. Then he started talking about YouTube channels, and he started saying that, like, you're owning your 40,000 rupees camera and you're asking these money questions. So that completely turned into hangama and an entire personal attack between the journalist and Annamalai for the day.
All right, Pramod, thank you very much for joining us. Clearly, this kind of verbal duel between Annamalai and those journalists there, not for the first time. And it appears these jibes by Annamalai accusing the journalists of being bought by the DMK isn't boding well with the local media houses. We're going to continue tracking those details, but for now, we're slipping into a short break. We'll be right back with our fact check segment on the other side. Stay with us.
Mrunal Thakur has signed her next film starring Nani, which is tentatively titled Nani 30. As per the glimpse released by the makers, the film looks like an emotional family drama. The image of Nani with a young girl showed that the movie could revolve around a father-daughter relationship.
నువ్వు ఉంచుదాం అంటే ఉంచుదాం
నిజంగా
ఇట్రా నువ్వు చెప్పు నీ విష్ లిస్ట్ ఏంటో.
Directed by debutant filmmaker Shauryav, the film will mark Mrunal's second Telugu film after she delivered a remarkable performance in Sita Ramam, which co-starred Dulquer Salmaan and Rashmika Mandanna. The romantic drama was based on a love story between Sita, played by Mrunal, and Lieutenant Ram, essayed by Dulquer. It was directed by Hanu Ragapudi. Meanwhile, the actress has several Hindi films lined up in 2023. One is with Aditya Roy Kapoor, titled Gumrah, which is the official remake of the hit Tamil film Thadam. She will also be seen essaying the role of the on-screen sister of Ishan Khattar in Raju Krishna Menon directorial Pipa. The film is based on the life of Brigadier Balram Singh Mehta.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com.
Welcome back. It's now time for our fact check segment. Let me take you through this image, this picture here showing Rohit Sharma donating blood to Rishabh Pant post the accident that happened on the 30th of December. This picture has now gone viral showing Rohit Sharma apparently donating blood to Pant. Well, India Today has done a fact check and it appears that this image is basically 6 years old of Rohit Sharma in a hospital bed. And no, he's not donated blood to Rishabh Pant this time. On that note, it's a wrap on 7 at 7. Do stay tuned for To The Point on the other side. We're going to take you through a fact check, rather a reality check on how safe are metro cities in the country. This comes in light of 20-year-old Anjali who was dragged to death in the national capital and the blame falling on the police for glaring lapses. Stay tuned to watch out.
ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಕಲ್ಲಿಗೋಸ್ಕರ ವಿಶಾಲವಾದ ಭೂಮಿನ ತನ್ನ ಊರಿನವರಿಗೆ ಬಿಟ್ಕೊಡ್ನಂತೆ.
ಕೊಟ್ಟ ಜಾಗವನ್ನು ವಾಪಸ್ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ದೈವ ಕೊಟ್ಟ ಮಾತಿಗೆ ತಪ್ಪಿದಾಗ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ.
Rishabh Shetty's Kantara opened in theatres on September 30th, much to the delight of his die-hard fans. The film received rave reviews, which helped it emerge as a big hit in the Kannada box office, and has also become the highest-rated Indian movie on IMDb with a rating of 9.6. This means that it has a higher rating than biggies such as Yash's KGF 2, which has 8.4, and S.S. Rajamouli directed RRR, which has 8. Written and directed by Rishabh Shetty, Kantara is a period action thriller that explores the traditional culture of Kambala and Bhutakola. Rishabh plays two distinct characters in the flick. The cast includes Kishore, Achyut Kumar, Sampati Gowda and Pramod Shetty. Entertainment Bureau, India Today.